Gentlemen, the rerun event titled Abydos Resort Restoration Task Force is here, and Allied Operations is released as well. So in this event, there are no shop to exchange currency but just gacha box. The quest stage has low chance to drop a disc and book with various rarity depending which quest stage you are in. The best to get is yellow rarity. It has higher chances than purple, and needed the most for leveling skill into level 7. For the gacha box main rewards are A and S Swimsuit. For now there's no reason to build her as casual being, so you can just get as many as you could. Another event is Allied Operation, Wakamo Swimsuit, and Wakamo Hovercraft. If you already participate on this event back then, it's not even a big deal to you. For new player however, if you having a difficult time to understand this event, I have old video explaining how this event works, and clearing with old unit as well. For now, you can go with these set up for easy clear. If you don't have them, you can borrow these from your friend and club. Up to 3 students you could borrow at the same formation. So, it's just that easy now I think. Anyway, 2 swimsuit student have their run. Should you get or build them? Honestly, limited student swimsuit banner is just next week, and these 2 banner are not worth pulling. For the build, I'd say could be yes, and could be no. So starting with S Nonomi, she is the other version of Azusa, and will do better on urban terrain. Her X skill is very great against one enemy and mostly effective against bosses. Her attack will start clapping single enemy until they are dried up. Similar like Azusa but better if you build her correctly, and works very well on urban terrain. Basic skill, increase attack speed to all allies. This could work for allies, but also not even good if she is the only hyper carry. It's waste of time of buff that applied to her. No so helpful at some cases but still usable at some point. If you don't know if this skill helps you, you can ignore her basic skill or cancel it. Enhanced skill, she increase her attack speed is work very well with her ult. Her enhanced skill plus however is incredible. Her attack will ignore certain amount of defense stats of the target. Very effective against bosses with high defense. Sub skill, when her X skill is activated, she deal additional damage. Now how do you know if she is dealing additional damages when her attack sounded like something is clapping? Sure 20% is sound not a lot, but for each attack and her X skill is 100 attack is a lot of additional damage out. It just works as hyper carry. So, should you get and build her then? Casual wise has no reason to build her for now. She is indeed incredible and all, but old students are still reliable. For now, we just need to wait if Wakamo Hovercraft has it Grand Assault. Sure S Nonomi could possibly used against Wakamo Hovercraft light defenses due to has fast attack speed. You could use her on Total Assault like Hornimus, Katen FX, and Grand Assault like Bina, Goz, Shiro Kuro if needed. If you already clear Hornimus and Katen FX without involving S Nonomi, then you are in comfy situations, or does not need additional dealer. If semi-competition however, she is an option for Torment Urban Terrain against any bosses that uses light defense. Joint firing drill. She is common used on assault exercises light defenses, though it's random depending what special rules is applied on this mode. For regular content and event challenges probably not an viable option. So back again. No pull for now but it's okay if you have unused spark and then using it to get her. Build only if she is needed and maximize her X. Enhanced and sub skill is usable. Basic skill is optional into level 7. 5 starts with 2 stars weapon, or unlocking enhanced skill plus, is must to make her useful and able to compete with Azusa. With that said though, that's the best build for her. If not then you might want to stick with the old reliable. Moving on into 2S Wakamo. Should you get and build her? Casual wise, not really. She is dealer of course, but mostly she is used because of the CC effect that she applied from her X skill has long duration. She is viable option for hot extreme or lower, but on insane. Kyoko is still preferable since CC strength also improve the CC effect to fill the CC bar easier. In the future however, player are move on into Segs instead, after the releasing of her unique gear and avoiding melding with Kyoko basic skill. That does not mean Kyoko is totally replaced by Segs, but approx around 6 months later, we move on again to use Kotama Camp instead, because cheap X skill and have ability to inflict CC effect as well. So 4S Wakamo isn't viable option anymore, and the damage she dealt is replaceable by Kazusa, or Ari, or Maki, or Neru. because they are damage focused and cheap option. Her basic skill. Increase attack but also increase the damage she receives. This is win buff situation. Winning because back is rarely targeted. Her attack buff are very incredible and also permanent duration. However, the time to activate this buff or skill took so long. So it's fair trade I guess. Seems like she need buffed soon with her unique gear, enhanced skill. Both increase attack is incredible, and then her sub skill also incredible as well. She deal double the damage if the HP of the target is below 30%, which is become greatly at dealing damage. So from overall, she is incredible if you build or use her correctly, and for me she is too complex to use, especially her basic skill. You have to understand when is exactly she will activated her basic skill. The third basic skill has incredible amount of attack buff or 100% attack increased, but that will took almost 3 minutes to get that buff. Commonly, battle has 3 minutes of time limit, and there's a battle that has 4 minutes, such as Hod and Cheesed. For Hodders obviously, you could use her in there because the ability to inflict CC effect to the target. Well, in short, strong niche, easily to get replaced. Back again. No clear reason to pulling and build her for now. Even if you need that CC for Hod, prefer to use Kyoko instead. If you need piercing damage dealer, you have many options, such as Mika, Maki, Kazusa, Irie and many, and there you go. At the end, both could possibly strong students, but that only works at some cases. If you trying to build them, you should be careful, otherwise your efforts will be wasted. For Nonomi maybe it's okay to build, only if you feel a need explosive single target dealer, or maybe you might want to find another reason why you should or you should not build these two. Both has wonderful live 2D, at least enough to fill you in a demon. And that should be all. As always, Godspeed.
Oh.